Zixthan the Devourer had conquered 17 star systems, enslaved 43 species, and reduced entire civilizations to ash with nothing more than his battle claws and predatory instincts. Standing 9 feet tall with obsidian scales that could deflect plasma bolts, he was the undisputed apex predator of the Andromeda Spiral. His ship's hull was decorated with the skulls of fallen warriors from 100 worlds, so when his long-range scanners detected a primitive world called Earth on the galaxy's outer rim, Zixthan expected another easy conquest. The electromagnetic signatures suggested a barely spacefaring civilization, perfect for hunting sport. His stealth cruiser descended through Earth's atmosphere under cover of darkness, landing in what his sensors indicated was a sparsely populated wilderness region. Zixthan emerged from his ship, breathing in the alien air with satisfaction. The scent of prey was everywhere. But something was wrong. Instead of cowering settlements or military installations, he found himself in what appeared to be recreational grounds. Small fabric shelters dotted the landscape, with curious bipedal creatures sitting around controlled fires, consuming nutrients and making strange rhythmic vocalizations. Zixthan approached the nearest cluster, his cloaking field rendering him invisible. These humans, as his translator identified them, showed no signs of advanced weaponry or defensive postures. They were simply existing, peacefully. One human, a middle-aged male with graying facial hair, was teaching a smaller human, offspring, Zixthan realized, how to ignite combustible materials. Remember, Billy, fire needs 3 things: heat, fuel, and oxygen. Take away any one of those and the fire dies. The apex predator found this curious. These creatures understood combustion, but used it for warmth and nutrition preparation rather than warfare. "Dad, what's that sound?" the young human asked, pointing in Zixthan's direction. The older human, Dad, tilted his head, listening. "Probably just a bear. Don't worry, son. We stored our food properly and we've got the fire. Wild animals are more scared of us than we are of them." Zixthan bristled. Scared? Of these soft, weak creatures? He deactivated his cloaking field and stepped into their firelight, expecting screams of terror. Instead, Dad calmly reached for a nearby metal cylinder. "Well, would you look at that, Billy? That's definitely not a bear." "Wow, Dad. Is that an alien? He looks angry. Are we gonna die?" "Not if I can help it, son." Dad's voice carried an odd quality, not fear, but a quiet determination that made Zixthan pause. "Stay behind me and keep the fire between us and him." The galaxy's most feared predator found himself confused. Where was the panic, the desperate pleading, the immediate surrender? "Mighty creature," Dad said, his voice steady. "I don't know if you can understand me, but you've got a choice here. You can walk away and we'll pretend this never happened, or you can find out why my species spent 10,000 years climbing to the top of our food chain." Zixthan laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Foolish prey creature, I am Zixthan the Devourer. I have raised civilizations. Your pathetic fire and primitive tools are—" He stopped mid-sentence as Dad sprayed something from the metal cylinder. Zixthan's enhanced vision immediately identified it as a chemical irritant, but what struck him wasn't the spray itself. It was the casual competence with which this primitive being had deployed it. "Bear spray," Dad explained to Billy, not taking his eyes off Zixthan. "Works on most aggressive animals. Seems to work on alien ones too." Zixthan wiped his eyes, rage building. "You dare. Billy, go wake up the Hendersons. Tell them we've got a situation." As the young human ran toward another shelter, Zixthan realized something was happening that had never occurred in his centuries of conquest. Other humans were emerging from their shelters, but they weren't scattering in panic. They were organizing. An older female human approached, carrying what Zixthan's sensors identified as a projectile weapon. "Problem, Tom? Seems like our visitor here doesn't understand the concept of leave us alone, Dad," Tom replied. "Well, that's a shame," the female said, checking her weapon with practiced ease. "Kids are sleeping. Can't have that." More humans appeared, some carrying tools that could serve as weapons, others positioning themselves strategically around the camp's perimeter. Not one of them was screaming or begging. Zixthan found himself facing something unprecedented in his career of conquest, a species that didn't submit to intimidation. "You're not warriors," he snarled, trying to reassert dominance. "You're just camping." Tom smiled, an expression that somehow managed to be both friendly and terrifying. "Son, you just stumbled into the wrong campground. See, we humans, we've got this thing about our families, our kids, our quiet time in the woods." He stepped closer, and Zixthan found himself instinctively stepping back. "And we've got 10,000 years of experience dealing with things that want to hurt what we love." The apex predator looked around the camp, finally understanding what he was seeing. These weren't primitive prey animals cowering around fires. They were Earth's apex predators, temporarily at rest but ready to defend their territory. "You want to know why we conquered this entire planet?" Tom asked, his voice carrying the weight of millennia. "It wasn't because we were the biggest or strongest. It was because we never give up, and we never stop adapting. Every challenge that didn't kill us made us better at surviving the next one." Zixthan found himself backing toward his ship, his predatory instincts finally recognizing what they were truly facing. "Smart choice," Tom called out. "Drive safe now, and maybe next time try knocking first." As Zixthan's ship lifted off, he made a mental note to update the Galactic Conquest database. Earth, avoid indefinitely. The apex predators there were already camping. Below, Tom was already teaching Billy how to properly bank a fire for the night, as if interrupting galactic conquest was just another part of their wilderness experience.